So El Paso's taxing entities are poised to collect more from homeowners next year. It may only be a few dollars on each bill, but with property values climbing, those costs can add up quickly. Harrison Parker breaks down the numbers and how taxpayers are responding.
So I'm having to pay out of pocket, out of my retirement, just to be able to stay open, to be able to pay the bills.
Wages here are not going up, and the cost of rent is going up higher.
Retirees, business owners, and El Pasoans working multiple jobs all feeling the pinch in recent years as taxing authorities in the borderland continue to raise tax bills, either through higher rates, higher values, or both. For next year, the city of El Paso is essentially keeping its rate the same, from 76 cents this year to 76 cents per $100 of valuation next year. The county, 42 cents to 45 cents per $100. UMC, 22 cents to 24 cents per $100, and the EPCC proposing a slight decrease of 11 cents to 10 cents per $100. While these changes might not look dramatic, the real estate market in El Paso only continues to grow, with the county seeing a 6% increase in value and the city a 5% increase. Some school districts saw decreases in taxable values due to state legislation increasing exemptions there. Still, most people I spoke with couldn't tell me how much more they're paying in taxes, though certain numbers stood out.
Well, what's happening is they're raising the valuation of the homes, so 55% for me.
One business owner says beyond his own tax bills, his customers' tax bills are now hurting him.
Customers are afraid of spending money. They're afraid that they're not going to have enough money to buy groceries, rent, pay electricity bills.
And even those who support tax increases to fund services for students, the elderly, and the disabled say they're working longer just to survive.
I love paying taxes. That much work is kind of insane to live a comfortable or steady life.
All right, let's go behind the story. Reporter Harrison Parker live in central El Paso tonight. You are still on that tax beat, Harry, and you're talking to us here about the culmination of all these tax increases when it comes to homeowners. Some interesting things that you pointed out in your report there, specifically the trickle down when that business owner was talking about how it's also affecting customers. But before we go there, let's talk about the moving parts here. We're talking about these incremental increases. In the case of the city, they're quite proud of the fact that they're holding steady. But the reality here is houses are being appraised, properties are being appraised at higher rates. So you're getting an increase whether you like it or not because your property is worth more, right?
That's absolutely right. That's something we've heard this year, last year. One of the downsides to having your home get more and more valuable is unfortunately here in El Paso, that does mean that even if something like the city or the county were to decrease their rates, the math shows you're going to end up paying still, in a lot of cases, a lot more. And that's something we've heard from people all across the city.
Yeah, because really valuations, as you pointed out in your report there, valuations have continued to climb. Post-pandemic, these appraisals keep coming in higher and higher for properties in El Paso County. But let's get back to what I considered an ancillary part of the report here, which equally as important. You get a sense from the business owner that you interviewed that people are concerned about what these higher taxes are going to cost, and they aren't spending as much. There's a lot of factors going into that, right, when it comes to the economy. Everything's a lot more expensive these days. But talk to me more about that trickle-down effect it's also having.
Certainly. So when it comes to taxes, you're not going to skimp on your taxes. Those are the dollars you're absolutely guaranteed to send out the door. But what you can cut is pretty much everything else. Gas, food, anything where there's a will, there's a way. You can pare back on it. And a lot of businesses, whether that's going out to eat, restaurants, things like that, basic services we see in a lot of downtown El Paso across the city, a lot of those businesses that rely on customers wanting to spend their hard-earned money, that extra bit of disposable income, they're worried that when people cut back, those services, their restaurants, their businesses, that's the first spot that people are going to start cutting back. There's also some worries both from homeowners and also just people around the city in general that this is going to cause foreclosures to go up. Obviously, that's something completely separate and something we're keeping an eye on in the long run. But basically, people are worried that when people cut back, that also includes mortgage payments. So there's a lot of anxiety about how far these tax burdens will spread.
Harrison Parker, live in central El Paso tonight. Harrison, we appreciate your reporting.